What's going on, guys? It's Foxy here for another edition of Foxy's Flea Market Pickups. I haven't recorded one of these in about a month and a half, I think, just because of now I have two jobs. It's kind of hard for me to really put time aside from both my jobs, my fiance, other video things I'm doing, and just life in general. So I'm trying to get these out now before I go to work today. So, with that said, let's get started. First, we have Gun. I've never played it, but this will be the first cowboy shooter that I will own. Who knows if I get another one. I'm trying to come across Red Dead, or Dead, which is the one? Red Dead Redemption, I think? That's another cowboy open world game. But in general, I'm not that big of a fan of open world games, so who knows? If I can come across it for cheap, I'll pick it up. Next, we got Heroes of the Pacific. I'm a big fan of the game that came after this, which I think is called Heroes of Europe or Heroes Over Europe. This game, it's, I don't know. I think I gotta just play it more, because when I'm playing it, it's just everything's moving way too fast. And it's really kind of hard for me to, I guess, just play it. It's just all too fast so far. I just gotta probably give it more time, I think. So next we got Metal Gear Solid 3. Believe it or not, I am not that big of a fan of Metal Gear Solid. I know that's crazy, but I only like two Metal Gear Solid games, and that is 3 and 2. I absolutely love this game. I thought it was more expensive than what I picked it up for, which is $1. I doubt you could see that. But I went to a disc replay about a month later and only came across it for $3.99. So I was not disappointed, but I was like, oh, so it's not expensive. Because sometimes, you see games that are very, very highly rated and are common that are expensive, like Mario games. Typically are high up. Pokemon are high up. I figured the same would be for like Metal Gear Solid. Turns out it isn't. But either way, I absolutely love Snake Eater. I think it's a phenomenal game. And, well, that's all there is to it. And let me make this clear. I'm not saying any of the other Metal Gear Solid games are shit. I just personally can't get into them as much as, say, you or your friends or whoever else. Next we got Woody Woodpecker. Now, the only reason I really picked this up is because the pictures on the back make Woody and whoever these other characters are look like absolute dog shit. And I thought it was hilarious when I picked this up. So, I have not played it yet, but I'm very interested. I kind of picked it up just for shits and giggles, really. Next is Theme Park Roller Coaster. Heavily played game in my childhood, so I was very happy to pick it up. I did held back on buying this at a disc replay for $3.99 about a half a year ago, because I was trying to find it cheaper, and I did. So I was pretty happy with that. Next we got Crash Bandicoot. This is actually a pickup from my fiance. She absolutely loves the Crash Bandicoot games. I think they're really good as well. I wouldn't say I love them, though. But, again, very good game. Crash 2, Cortex Strikes Back. Again, a pickup from my fiance. I've never played this one. I think the only other Crash game I played was Crash Team Racing or something like that. Couldn't tell you if that game's good. Pandemonium II, I've never played it. I just thought the cover looked kind of interesting, and the same goes with the back. No idea what it's really even about. Namco Museum Volume 3. This comes with, excuse me, Miss Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Galaxian, I think that's pronounced, Pole Position 2, Fozon, and the Tower of Druaga. That's the only one I've never played. I have no idea what that is. But I like Miss Pac-Man, I like Dig Dug, and Pole Position 2 is a fun game. So, for what I got it for, I'm not going to complain. I think I do have another kind of multi-pack sort of disc game. But I think it was Atari only. I'm not entirely sure. Next is 007 Tomorrow Never Dies, another game from my childhood that I love very much. The second 007 game I've ever played, first of which is Goldeneye on the N64. And let me be honest about this. I tried playing Goldeneye again not too long ago. I want to say 2 months ago, and I couldn't get into it just because as a whole, we've grown so much more with our controllers. We now have 2 analogs and whatnot. We've actually had 2 analogs for quite some time. But regardless, going back to a system where there's just 1 analog on a first-person shooter is a lot more difficult and annoying than I could have ever imagined it would be. Hopefully one day they do re-release Goldeneye. I don't even care if it's virtually the same exact game, no graphical enhancements other than being in like 1080p or whatever on the PS4 or whatever. I do not care as long as we can use 2 analogs, because I really love that game. And that just one analog thing, I can't get back into it. It's so hard because it's one of my favorite games of all time. Next we got Twisted Metal 2. I like the Twisted Metal games as a whole. Black was really good. 4 was my favorite, but in general, Twisted Metal has always been behind Vigilante 8. I absolutely love Vigilante 8. It's a similar concept of just cars shooting the shit out of each other, but I felt it was more fun, in my opinion. I think I've said that in a previous video as well. But I like the games. And I got Twisted Metal 3. Not much to say about it. I really don't remember this game as much as 2 and 4. I do believe I've owned this and played it at one point, but God knows what I did with it. That's that. Now 3 things left. First of which is Siphon Filter 2. I am a big fan of this game. I played it heavily when I was a kid, and I think I played it not too long ago well, I guess it would be a long time ago when I was a freshman in high school. So when I found this, I was very happy, especially for the price. Last 2 things. Harvest Moon Save the Homeland. I've said this before. I love Harvest Moon. I don't know why. It's just one of those games that is very addicting, and it's hard for me to put it down. And I went to a flea market with my dad one day, and it's the same flea market we always go to, but we were getting so bent out of shape because there was nothing there. It was really good weather, absolutely nothing there. And then at the very last second, I turn my head and I see a copy of Harvest Moon 2, if I don't throw it. Harvest Moon 2 on the game for the Game Boy on an old lady's table, just like on top of a book. I look over, I'm like, oh, it's probably nothing. I walk over, I see it, and I snatch it, and I go, how much is this? Oh, just $1. If you can imagine someone taking out $1 as fast as possible, that's exactly what I did. It was hilarious. I gave her that $1, I put it in my pocket, and I was so happy. And even though it's not like a super expensive game, just the fact that I found something I really wanted, because I've owned this game and I loved it when I was a kid, probably sold it later on for whatever reason at a garage sale, but I was so happy when I found this. And yeah, that's about it for this edition of Foxy's Flea Market Pickups. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and now on to the slideshow as usual.